organization want to try and get back to their former glory and go back into the World Championships.
And I just want to remind everyone, yes, IMA beat Team WE in the last best of 5 for the 3rd versus 4th match, but historically Team WE do have the winning record over IMA over the regular season, as well as a stronger record in general and a higher place. They are the much more consistent team. Outside that best of 5, they are the stronger team.
Yeah, definitely heavy favorites coming into this match as well. Definitely have the crowd behind them. There's tons of Team WE fans here in the audience tonight, cheering them on, hoping that they can take down IMA, but they're going to see if they can do it in game number 2 as we head into picks and bans for that match. Team WE now onto the blue side. They're 1 game up. IMA on the red side of Summoner's Rift, still looking for their first victory. Gangplank, Rek'Sai, and Jin, the 3 bans that come out from Team WE, whereas we do see Karma and Talia, the first 2 bans coming out from IMA.
Got your wish.
Such a weird ban, though, in the way of the Jin being taken off the board. I feel like that indicates that Mystic wants to play the Ashe or the Sivir, deny perhaps the Sivir from Jin Jiao, but the Ashe also beats it, which is my train of thought there. And there's also this.
Yeah, it allows them to priority pick the Echo and make sure that Jin Zhao's not getting his signature champion in the Jin in a second rotation. So I think it is very smart, and I agree with you, Rusty, that we're probably either going to see the Sivir or the Ashe in Mystic's hands.
Also feel like Bard is one of the picks into the Jin. May not be seen from Zero. We know that Road will most likely look towards it, but the Trundle seems to stand out as perhaps his priority that was denied from Zero in game number 1. And again, to highlight that fact, in the first game, everyone was drafting to deny from their opponents, not to pick for themselves.
So Echo was the first pick coming in for Team WE, something that was taken away by Team WE in the first match. So priority pick for 957. That does leave both the Shen and Vladimir left open. 2 picks that I may like to play around with. And something that was permanently banned out against Team WE as well in their series against Snake. And so far it's 100% pick or ban rate in the Regional Gauntlet qualifier, as Trundle and Vladimir are the first 2 picks to come out for IMA.
I'm actually surprised to see the Trundle. Again, it is being flexed between Road and Amazing J, one of the few top laners that plays it there. We saw it last game, but you know, Tarek's still on the board, Bard's still on the board. There's a lot of options.
Shen exists as well. I feel like they could have went for the Shen instead.
Yep.
But it means it should be support. Maybe learnt their lesson after game number 1. It didn't really do anything Amazing J, unfortunately.
At the same time, Team W already showed the hand in the top lane. Echo should be heading up for 957 unless CF flexes into mid lane. This might not necessarily need to pick up the Shen yet. Still waiting to see what their next 2 picks are going to be.
Makes sense that it would be AD carry support here.
And it seems that they're going to be picking up Ashe as well as Taric as their next 2 picks, keeping up with the invulnerability from that support.
Yeah, and ultimately, as expected, ban the Jin. Assume that Jin Jiao will go towards the Sivir, so you lock in the Ashe as a winning lane. Not only that, does it win the lane, Taric's able to help you stay healthy and alive within that lane. If it's the Trundle support, then Mystic and Zero should be fine as a Condi because he's got the Ashe right now. If it's not, then it might be even like a Tarm Kenshram Road. I would actually be quite alright with that. Brawn Bard's still available.
Still waiting to see if Voilis is flexing the Trundle pick in the top side of the map.
If the Tarek's been revealed, so it may force Trundle into that support position. Like Rusty said, they can pick up the Poppy to try to counteract Tarek's ultimate. But that still means that it's Trundle Sivir if you do that versus Ashe Tarek, which gives Team WE the stronger 2v2.
We're still waiting to see if it's even going to be the Sivir for IMA. Jin Jiao, very well known for the Sivir pick, picked it last game. Is his most played champion in the LPL. So you see the Graves hover being swapped over towards a Gragas, and that gets locked in for a Voilis in the jungle, and Jin Jiao will pick up the Sivir as his AD carry of choice heading into the Ashe and the Taric. Still waiting to see if the Trundle is going to be a flex pick as a support or a top laner.
And Gragas is going to work very similar to how Poppy is. It's having that big displacement, so trying to separate Taric from the rest of the team to make sure that you can't get that invulnerability across multiple members.
And final 2 picks for Team WE. Most likely going to be a mid laner as well as a jungler.
Do it, Condi.
That's the kind of pick that gets a crowd riled up. One of the few players alongside SOFM that is a outstanding Lee Sin god.
They can also always swap over towards the Kindred and have a very similar team comp to what Team W played last game.
Not expecting the Lee Sin, to be honest with you. Graves does make sense.
So it is going to be the Malzahar that does get locked in for Sia in the mid lane, and Zero still holding on to this Graves, and it is the final lock-in for Team WE. Condi will be taking that into the jungle up against the Gragas.
A lot of single target lockdown on Team WE's composition and a lot of damage threats. really they're very reliant on the invulnerability from Tarek as well as the ultimate from Echo to have that big front line available.
They're false tanks. The entire team is false tanks. Graves gets extra armor from auto-attacking, things like that. Malzahar has the spell shield and will build towards tanky-ish items, and there's no dedicated tank there. But if Zero hits the ultimate, then they are still effectively tanks as they're invulnerable, and it's a good team composition if they lock somebody down, as that would be incredibly awesome because we just said both of the champions.
Well, let's see if IMA do lock in the Poppy, something we talked about before. Picks a man, somebody that can disable the Tarek by knocking him out of a team fight so he can't make anyone invulnerable.
It's also this idea that IMA really thrive in scrappy team fights, so the more tools they have to displace people to choose that this is a 2v2, a 3v3, the better.
But instead it is going to be the Varus picked up into the mid lane. Trundle's flexed down as the support, and Vladimir heads into the top lane for Amazing J. He immediately swaps over to Ghost and teleport.
It's like, why not be Rumble? That's all I really have to add in that respect. You want to be a magic damage top lane champion. I feel like they flexed this last second because they want Varus to poke out Malzahar.
He also changed his summoner spells last second, so I don't think it was pre-planned. I think it was very reactionary.
That's still very perplexing.
It's still very interesting. A few teams do flex the Vladimir into the top lane. IMA is one of those teams. And Thena picking up the Varus. We've already seen Varus once so far in this 3-day tournament and was picked up by EDG's bottom laner.
Frankly, it feels that Team WE are just kind of drafting IMA back into a corner. Not getting as many options, not getting the most out of their flex picks, and I feel like they kind of fumbled this one in particular. We'll see if the Varus pick works out for them, but I think that was very from the hip.
Certainly could be.
Yeah, I guess I question the necessity of having to pick the Vladimir away from CA and having to put it in the top lane, perhaps to get better all-around matchups for their team composition, means that it's a champion that could have just been banned and maybe they had a better time all around.
Well, IMA changing things up again, picking up the Varus as well as the Vladimir. Team WE sticking to Zero, picking up the Tarek in the bottom lane. Very similar team comp, but a lot of incredibly strong picks for Team WE. They're very comfortable. 957 back on the Echo, Condi now on his Graves, and Mystic on the Ashe.
I feel like IMA are prioritizing their 1v1 matchups more so than what makes them strong and unique as a team. Again, it's usually playing semi-global team comps, so a lot of Shen, a lot of Tahm Kench. Both those champions were available right now, and they didn't pick up what we've seen them have success on in the past.
Well, we're going to be able to head on to Summoner's Rift for game number 2 between Team WE and IMA. Team WE still leading this best of 5 series 1-0 after a game, a 1 victory. Turning the map around at 35 minutes into the game. Let's see if they're going to be able to do it again here in game 2.
It's going to be a difficult game for IMA to get back into if they start behind. WE's composition can be quite snowbally. However, the early game should favor IMA. They should get those leads, and when a Varus is ahead, the whole map feels it.
It's going to be even more punishing because we do have an initial Infernal Drake and now a skirmish.
They're already fighting. There's a pillar going down, exhaust onto Mystic. He's forced to flash away. A very early flash from Team WE's AD carry.
He needs to go back to base really soon, otherwise he'll miss out on some minion spawns.
Punished for trying to put down a very early level 1 ward.
Does mean that a giant target has been painted into that bot lane, and that Mystic and Zero either have to be very cautious with their vision or just actually give up a lot of pressure in the lane, sit back and wait for that summoner spell.
And there's an Infernal Dragon that you mentioned for Oscar that has spawned early here on Summoner's Rift, so if there's any early action, we can expect these two teams to fight for that objective. For now, though, nothing too crazy at level 1 besides the small pick onto Ashe.
There is no exhaust, though, for Road. I think Mystic can still actually win this fight. They should just get the 1 and leave. Means they'll be 1 minion closer towards a level 2 point. There's actually a potential for lane dominance to be secured by WE here. Even though there's no flash on the Mystic, they'll still be able to out-trade due to having the combat summoner of the exhaust.
For now, though, Team WE going to head to the lane a little bit late. Still, we'll be able to hit level 2 effectively. Ashe does have a giant range. Jinjiao does get stunned up and hit by a volley. Already good trades coming out for Team WE.
Zero again showing why the Tarek should be looked at or at least taken away from him. Probably the best looking support player that we've seen pick up this champion in the LPL.
This one already right. The Jet Soul is a god. And Tarek.
Yep.
He was a god.
Yep.
I don't know how to tell them apart at this stage. They're both really good at it.
Zero is great at the champion as well. We can check with the Keystone Mastery he's picked up. Nothing too surprising on Summoner's Rift. Road going for the Bond of Stone over the Grasp of the Undying on his Trundle support.
I don't know if it's a big deal, but one cool thing Zero was doing is working around his Relic Shield as a bait to get the stun off his Tarek, because he closes distance to go towards the minions and changes his mind at the last second. It's actually quite confusing.
Pretty cool. Spoilers, he started on the red side of his jungle, picked up the red buff, moved down towards the bottom side of the map, and now taking down his blue. Condi started the blue buff, now on top of his red buff here. Very standard jungle paths that we see in 6.15.
There will be a Voidless, however, getting out into the river first.
It's a nice double stun coming out from Mystic. The pillar goes down, trying to separate him from the rest of the team. The junglers are close by to the bottom side of the pit. They've got to be careful. This Road is taking a lot of damage. Voidless is waiting the wings, but he's on top of a ward. But the health bars are so low for Sivir and Trundle that he just can't quite get in there.
Voidless can't do anything.
He's getting baited, actually. They're going to pressure onto the turret. They want a Voidless to come in, because Condi's in the brush waiting for him, but he's not going to be here. So actually time wasted now by the Graves. Still a lane 1 by WE.
Mystic and Zero showing why they're one of the strongest bottom lane duos in the LPL. Condi still waiting in the wings in case things go south.
Wants to counter gank, doesn't want to be the proactive one.
And already Mystic making sure that they force Jinjiao and Road to go back to base nice and early. Will be able to shove this wave in and pick up a small CS advantage for himself this early into the match.
And they had to be that aggressive. Again, not having the flash, it did mean that there was the possibility of the gank and Gragas would have a lot of threat there. But because the incoming wave was so large, because Jinjiao and Road had been hammered so hard, there was nothing that they can do. And so Mystic is going to effectively bypass his weak point where he didn't have a summoner because Zero and him went on the offensive.
So you check in with the mid lane. Athena doing what Varus do, which is shove in, and Mal's having a difficult time farming to start things up. Already using a lot of mana, taking a lot of poke damage from Athena. Forced to farm underneath his turret to start things off. Doing a good job so far.
Yeah, but Athena has been doing a better job at laning phase at the moment. This is one big thing that we'll have to look towards. Amazing J playing the scaling team fight champion in Vladimir. Condi's nearby.
He's going to get jumped on here. Paralock Verges comes down, doesn't get the stun into Amazing J, but forces him to use the Ghost nice and early.
Dying Vlad. What?
Interesting summon spell picked up by Amazing J.
Fair enough. It's not Strength of the Ages.
So interesting Keystone Mastery, I should say. Going for the extra lifesteal on the Vladimir top.
You can see Athena statistically outstanding as well in comparison to the league average.
I believe he has one of the best KDAs.
Second to his own teammate, I believe.
For mid laners in the LPL.
Again, the sample size there is very small, though, because Baimi and Athena share a lot of the spotlight. Although recently it's really been Aime leaning on Athena to head the charge.
He's been starting a majority of their matches. And only a couple times now Baimi's been subbed in.
Just for that Aurelian Soul pick. But since he is globally banned right now, I'm curious if we'll see Baimi at all in this matchup.
So bottom side of the match, Jinjiao still taking a lot of poke damage coming out from Mystic and Zero, but the CS is even between the two AD carries.
Yeah, you can see the decision as well from Mystic to go towards Boots early makes sense given that he is a slow and move speed reliant champion. We'll get more auto attacks off to Jinjiao. When he has the Q stacked up, his damage increases as it is. So it makes sense to go towards that.
So now holding up this wave close to their turret as they possibly can. Condi waiting in the wings in case things happen in the bottom lane. Stopping his recall a couple of times as well.
Yeah, he's trying to work around his spidey senses, but he's very far off the mark twice now.
Top side of the map, Mason J taking some awful trades here against 957, doing a good job on this Echo so far.
It does mean that 957 might be exposed here. If Condi thinks that Gragas is on the bottom side of the map, no one should be communicating that he could possibly be top.
SJ has hit level 6, so does have the Hemo Plague available. 957 will have his ultimate up as well. Let's see if he uses it to get back to his top lane as he is heading back to base.
Level 6 here, so CA has that natural inclination towards aggression now that he has the ultimate. Varus is capable of dealing with him from a distance but not up close, and that's why the Gragas is nearby.
Yeah, but the fact that they've lost sight and lost tracking of the Voidless, I like the fact that both the mid and top, or the solo laners from Team W, are playing more defensively, trying to figure out where he is before they make a move.
So we still see Mystic and Zero in the bottom lane pushing out. much as they can. Good stun on towards Jin Zhao, forces the exhaust coming out. They're trying to fight toe-to-toe. Mystic heals up Jin Zhao, very low, flashes away. Has to use his summoner spells to escape. Zero and Mystic, good trades in the bottom lane, but they're going in. Good shell shield coming out for Jin Zhao. The turret comes in, and Road's going to be able to pick up first blood. He's now charging down towards Mystic. He's trying to kite back. He's going to go down. Flashed on by the Trundle.
He got the ultimate,
but there is the big pillar coming out, and a double kill comes out for Road in the bottom lane.
Massive play from Road right there. That's exactly what Jin Zhao and Road needed to get a foot back into this matchup. Unfortunately, off the back of a mistake by Zero, taking the tower aggro, not what was intended.
Yeah, good and bad plays across the board. I believe the spell shield was used by Jin Zhao to stop the stun, and he flashed forward to try and get that stun off. It was super close. Mystic, I was wondering what he was aiming for instead of hitting Road, but by killing the cannon, he ticks 6 and ults him point blank. Doesn't get the kills. Clever and cute, but not what he needs.
Fantastic play from Jin Zhao and Road. Puts their team firmly ahead to start this game off. And this is against Mystic and Zero, the strong bottom lane duo of Team WE. For now though, Voidless looking to try and take down Blue Buff. Should be looking to give this one over towards the Varus in the mid lane. Athena will pick that one up. Checking at the top side of that, you can see the double daggers being picked up by 957, probably going towards the Trinity Force in the Echo. We've seen most Echoes in this tournament so far pick up the Iceborne Gauntlet instead.
Yeah, as expected though, we'll be going towards the Trinity Force. The combat stat wants to be a big carry for his team. And now that his bottom lane isn't massive, Condi actually out of position here.
Gonna get knocked back into the team. Rhodes even coming in, has to flash over the wall. But chains come out from Athena. He's taking so much damage, and Aime, they're gonna pick up another kill, but suddenly his teleport's coming in. Body slam stops CS ultimate. He can't lock down Athena, but a good stun comes out from Zero to lock down of Voidless. 957 trying to join the fight, but too little too late, and Aime get a pick onto Team W's jungler.
They get a lot more than that. They get out scot-free, as well as also burn the teleport summoner from 957, so TP advantage now for Amazing J in that top side. Huge win across the board for Aime.
They're still chasing down to CS. Subjugate being used. Road is looking like an absolute monster in this game.
I think we know who should have been the Trundle in game number 1, Fish. Safe to say that Road's stepping up massive here as these two are...
They're going to fight. Mystic's getting teleported on by Amazing J. He has to fight his way out. Jin Zhao trying to run. Here comes Amazing J. Doesn't even need him because Jin Zhao gets the one-on-one solo kill.
That's pretty aggro from Mystic on the back of actually just being killed. Decides that he can take him on. They have the same items, but not enough. Unfortunately, Jin Zhao plays it well. Kites around his ultimate and hides behind minions.
So that means that Amazing J and Jin Zhao can get some good damage onto the bottom lane inner turret. Or outer turret, sorry. Top side of the map, Amazing 957 trying to do what he can to chip away the top lane outer. Slowly, there's going to be a Voidless that moves up towards the top side of the map to try and stop him. Aime should be able to get the first turret goal by taking this down, or not. Condi's up at the top side of the map. It is a race. Let's see who gets there first. It seems like it's going to be Team WE who get the first structure advantage.
Oh, but by mere seconds. Across the map, though, Aime are in complete control. That's going to be just effectively table scraps for Team WE, but they've already built up about a 2k gold difference, as well as pressure around this, pressure and position around this Infernal Drake. So Aime, they took charge over the early game. This is what we expect, and Team WE would continue to drop the ball.
Zero now getting locked out by Road, but good pillar stops him from getting back to his side of the map. Aime even looking to take down an Infernal Dragon as well. To start off this game, to start off this match, Team WE have found themselves in the same position they were last game.
RNG certainly favored Team WE last game by having multiples of Ocean Dragons as well as Clouds, but a double Infernal puts the heat on. Team WE need to clean up their early game and start finding some reactive success around the map.
Again, we're seeing Rift Herald being taken in by Team WE. Second game in a row, they've looked towards the objective, but they back off because multiple members of Aime moving towards the pit.
Road's everywhere at the moment. There's just nothing that WE can do. He's just keeping tabs on them consistently. Wherever this Trundle appears, WE seem to die.
Yeah, Aime definitely don't walk a lonely road at the moment because they've got him everywhere.
They're now rotating Jin Zhao and Road towards the top side of the map. It's not just the Trundle, so they're in full siege mode, want to continue to press down these structures and continue to snowball that advantage.
Sia now trying to clear out the minions in the mid lane. Gets pushed underneath his turret quite effectively by Athena, who's gone back to base and picked up his own tier as well as the Caulfield's Warhammer. Sia not struggling as much as he was last game against Athena in terms of CS.
Yeah. There's a couple of positives to take away from this game from WE. It's just that the bottom lane really is the pain point for them. The gold deficit still stands as a decent amount, but not really a game-winning amount for IMA one more time. They need to continue to consolidate and try and find further leads.
Yep, Amazing J and Athena exchanging tactics there. He may play use on the minion wave just to clear it out, stop it from being pushed by IMA.
They're just on the right side of the map at the right time. They swap their duo up there as soon as the blue buff is spawning, so they have the numbers advantage, and they're continuing to chip away at Team WE now through the jungle.
And they use that numbers advantage to give Athena blue buff from Team WE's side of the map. Jinjiao Road now looking to continue pushing on the top side of Summoner's Rift. Trying to take another turret for himself. Condi has been caught up here. Does get spotted out by a ward.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not great.
He just got here. Goodbye.
Pillar as well as an arrow coming out from Athena.
A lot of this would have been avoided, because at this point, you're already too far in. It's effectively a race. You're just trying to trade bottom outer for top outer. But a lot of this could have been avoided if after 957 took that top tower, if he had just placed a ward deep down to check who was coming up that lane and to check for IMA swapping. But not placing that single vision, Team WE are now forced into this race.
Now WE looking to try and take down the turret first. Amazing J still holding on well. But this turret will fall with one more push.
Yeah, Amazing J holds on well. Echo also is very good at diffusing pushes with his Q. He hits it twice on the minion wave, it all dies. They'll get the turrets at the same time. Nothing really actually changes behind this, just a trade.
Team WE known for being able to trade effectively when they're behind, try and mitigate the damage dealt by a team that capitalizes on their weak early game.
But I feel like they do this because they're relying on their players making these game-changing saves. You know, it's Condi in game 1, it's 957 doing a good job in game number 2 here to make sure that tower trades, as opposed to just making the smarter, cleaner map plays, the vision plays.
We have seen that cost Team WE quite a few times in the LPL. Might cost them again here in this match. Checking with the mid lane, Merlin Lobcon has been picked up by CM, doing much better in this second match on Malzahar. Athena has picked up his QSS though nice and early on the Varus. Itemizes a little bit better on the AD carry in the mid lane. Can eventually upgrade that into the Mercurial Scimitar.
Of course, has great itemization choices by just being a Varus. Cooldown reduction, armor penetration. Then CA going for the Morello's build means that he's actually quite fragile and can be picked apart by Athena in this 1v1 lane whenever he has blue buff.
Which he does have at the moment. Mystic still waiting in Fog of War, trying to get an arrow off towards Road. The Pillar will spot them out. Sia crucially gets knocked back for that and can't get in range to use his ultimate.
And that Pillar really saves his life because they're unable to close the distance off the slow to chain the CC, the arrow into the Taric stun.
Now IMA looking to try and siege up this mid lane. Sia taking a lot of damage from these piercing arrows. Death Fire touch from Athena takes about 4 turret shots there. Doesn't seem to care too much. Forcing him to pop a couple of potions and try and heal up off the wave.
He cares. He definitely cares, but we're also seeing the start of the composition that I actually have when it comes to sieging. Trundle hits a pillar, Varus can hit a free Q, Siva can as well, and chains are on.
Chains being used, Condi knocked back to the team, obliterated! Can't do anything in that situation, and I may continue to siege.
Brilliantly executed right there. Like you said, throw out the slow, make sure that you connect with the Varus ultimate, the cast pops behind him, drops him right into an arrow because it's against the wall, so free skill shots all day.
And Team WE thought they had the unique team comp to start this game off. It's now IMA that do as a Voidless has to flash away. Taric will be used by Zero proactively, not taking any damage, but it's still IMA that collapse. Team WE trying to get the heck out of dodge, but Zero's incredibly low. Piercing arrow comes through. He may play, will take him down. Road gets hit by the Malefic Vicious. He will die. Jinjiao gets tagged with the second proc of it. They just trade 1 for 1.
So they used the Taric ultimate, like you said, proactively, but it really didn't absorb any damage because it was just the Trundle running at them and wailing on them outside a few spare auto attacks. Meanwhile, when Vladimir finally gets involved after the teleport, there's no Taric ultimate to counter the Hemoplague. It's now Condi.
He's found the Voidless, but he used the body stone to get a safety. Sia, though.
He's about to die.
Getting chased down. He's going to be able to use the Sagni Pulse whilst that Crimson Rush picks up the kill. Messi J will, however, pay for it with his life.
Tried to time it right to hit him with the arrow when he came out of the pool, but good job to trade 1 for 1 for Amazing J. That tower, what, 10 HP?
Yep, that will go down eventually. I'm pretty happy with the chip damage they've got on towards it.
Straker clock though. No teleport available for both top laners 957 on the opposite side of the map. means that there is an opening that will be ever present for IMA to take.
Another Infernal Dragon coming up. I may already have one. We'll definitely want to pick up the second. Team WE, they've been in the same spot. Last game, 17 minutes in, 2,000 to 3,000 goal behind. Exactly the same in this match. But I may look a lot stronger when it comes to these skirmishes and team fights. That turret will eventually fall and increase the goal lead for IMA, but for now they have their eyes set on towards taking down the Infernal Dragon.
Those team fights were won on miracle outplays by Condi. We'll see if they can do the same thing now that IMA will have double Infernal Drake.
That's going to go down uncontested from Team WE. Next Dragon spawn will be a Cloud Dragon. It's finally mid lane turret falls. Athena picks up the gold for that. He's already got his Youmuu's Ghostblade completed with the tier.
And we're in another situation where Team WE lost control of the early game and have been choked back underneath their inner tower ring.
Yeah, they've been choked out a little bit more though than this game than last. A lot less of an opportunity for them to start making these plays. They are trying to get picks off. Easier said than done, unfortunately, for them.
And that's the keyword, pick, which means that they need to be so much more adamant about getting defensive pinks up, clearing out their own jungle, and trying to catch IMA cheating through the shorter path between these lanes as they attempt to siege. But you're looking at Sia and you're looking at Mystic to come up big with the Astro and the Malzahar ult.
IMA now rotating 4 members in towards this mid lane, trying to put up another siege into the mid lane in the turret. Team WE seems like they got no way to react to this one. Pillar comes out again, they separate here. He's going to take a lot of damage as Amazing J moves into the fight. Athena, though, just pokes him out of the team fight and takes him down off the back of that pillar.
And that's why Tarek really doesn't work in the LPL. Whenever his ultimate is used defensively like that, you can pop before the invulnerability even takes hold.
And IMA putting on a clinic in this match, sieging up fantastically. No response so far from Team WE. 4 members looking to try to defend against the 5-man squad of IMA. Athena still has that blue buff, just poking away every chance he gets his piercing arrow back up. There goes 957 looking to try and engage a fight. Amazing J does take a bit of damage from Crimson Rush. Will come back up. Now Zero's been locked down. The Vladimir looking to try to get in. Zero forced to heal himself. That piercing arrow almost took him down.
This is Hero 957 effectively zoning off 4 members of IMA. Again, we talk about how Team WE, they find successes and they're able to counter-react appropriately, but through their miracle performance on individual level as opposed to the smart macro clean decisions.
Definitely struggling now though, WE. I don't know if there's many ways back into this game besides a miracle. They're just being completely choked out. If they try and go forwards, Gragas and Trundle will defuse it. And then middle laner is snowballed here. Athena is huge.
Well, to be honest, they've got 5 miracles, so I'm not going to count them out just yet. We're still 15 minutes before the 35-minute mark.
35 minutes was where we saw Team WE take the goal lead in game 1. It's possible for them to do the same in game number 2, but IMA very strong in this match, looking a lot better in the second game.
There's a gold graph.
And IMA were ahead throughout most of that first match. They were the team that were increasing their goal lead time and time again. Just didn't have answers to the team comp that Team WE put together for themselves in game 1.
He has no magic resistance. I have no idea how 957 can even afford to be that aggressive.
Well, he is fighting Amazing J, not too scared of the Vladimir it seems, using that Trinity Force as much as he can to get damage.
He should be scared of the Vladimir. He has all armor.
Team WE now in the mid lane trying to defend against Athena. Youmuu's Ghostblade being popped by that Varus. He was looking to try and find the initiation. Mystic. 1 arrow takes him down to half his health. Gets a heal from Zero to keep him nice and topped up.
Athena is like game-winning strong right now. He will hard carry as long as people protect him. He's got a Sivir, Trundle, Gragas, and the Vladimir will be in the front line. Knowing Amazing J, he'll be in the enemy back line regardless.
Varus is a signature pickup for Athena. He played it in the Casper Cup, but he normally plays it with Teleport.
Condi taking half his health and damage from Athena. There goes the arrow, lands him towards the Varus. QSS keeps him alive. They take down the mid lane in a turret, but they've locked down the Varus now, looking for a fight. Road will be the first to fall. Piercing arrow is going to come through as well as the chains. Now here comes the Tarek ultimate to keep 4 members of the team invulnerable. 957 is in the back lines, but Amazing J going in with so much damage. Forced to use the Sanguine Pool to run away. Silenced now by the Malzahar. A good slow will come out from Athena to knock Team WE away, but still 1 pick coming out for Team WE.
And that's a great team fight. So they saw the early QSS from Athena on the Asher, which immediately signaled CA to flash forward to lock him down with the ultimate. They do follow off with the Graves to pick up the kill on Road, I believe it was. But just beautifully orchestrated. The Vladimir ultimate came down. Tarek's ult was used in response to counteract it, and that's much cleaner from Team WE.
Yeah, still very hard to actually kill the members of IMA. Gragas actually wasted his ultimate early also. The Malzahar could afford to flash forwards and actually get Athena locked down. Lucky for him, he does not go down, but IMA were able to consolidate and work around him, playing towards their strengths. And whilst it was a good pick for Team WE, IMA are absolutely in control.
Ultimately, it just bought them time and alleviated a bit of pressure.
Certainly has. 5,000 goal lead for IMA at the moment. 23 minutes into this game, looking very strong. Slowly but surely trying to push in against Team WE. The C is now on the top side of the map. Doesn't have teleport as is one of his summoner spells. But will have the Ghost and Flash, that's still on cooldown.
Yeah, they'll still be on cooldown, but right now IMA are actually playing around the top side of the map, working around buffs and objectives. The next Drake's not as influential as the two Infernals that they have. They'll more so be concerned about either the next consecutive Drake or the Elder Dragon afterwards.
Sieging that's coming out from IMA is just absurd. Mystic has to be so careful. Chain's going to land as well. There goes Amazing J. He just gets popped. 80k for Team WE is down, and Condi's taking so much damage in the back half of it. Forced to use collateral damage to get back to the safety of his turret. IMA really putting on a clinic. Athena is so good on this Varus.
He's just showcasing why he's the starting mid laner over Baimi. You know, they constantly were rotating the two. It's really hard to tell the difference. They fill a very similar role, but when you get Athena on his signature pick like his Varus, with or without the teleport, he's doing damage.
Yeah, I can't stress this enough. Athena is hard carrying for this team, and they're going in.
On the hunt being popped, Himo playing onto three big members of Team WE, and Voida's looking for a big ultimate as well. Road taking up the turret, getting down pretty low. And they still break through the base. 957 into the back lines, gets one pick for his team. They lose the inhibitor turret for his troubles. He's still trying to get the flank around onto IMA, but they do get back to the safety, only losing their support.
Yeah, surprisingly, IMA don't lose anything further. They decide not to push in and be over-aggressive. They look to take the easy objectives. And it is slow, patient, and controlled League of Legends from this IM roster.
Setting up in a brush, though,
About to find Mystic.
Waiting. Mystic eventually going to move forward. The crowd knows what's going to happen if he steps any further forward. There they go, the chains land. Mystic sees his life flash between his eyes, or before his eyes I should say, as IMA set up a death brush to pick up another kill.
Just lost track of the enemy. Obviously thought that they were in base, resetting, buying gold after they'd accumulated all of that advantage, and his greed punishes him.
I can't even blame him for it. He was so patient. He just wanted the next wave, and now he's 0-4.
Does have his Affinity Edge as well as the Runan's Hurricane. This Cloud Dragon does get taken down by IMA. Next Dragon spawn is going to be another Infernal Dragon, two of which IMA already control.
I'm glad to see a team finally really punish Team WE in their early game. Over the course of the LPL split, they would constantly just negate, neutralize losses, feed deficits, but just sit it out, wait for a big single 5v5 to determine the course of the game. And I felt like a better, stronger team would really see, or make Team WE see the error of their ways.
Now though, we still have Athena in the mid lane on this Varus. Blue buff up and available. It seems like he's had it for most of this match. And he has been using it effectively every single time he picks up the blue buff. They start a siege and he just pokes out champion after champion.
Yeah, I mean, they can even just re-establish this around the middle lane if they want the inhibitor poke before they take it down. Make sure somebody from Team WE is low before they execute on it. That or they just decide they've switched their attention towards the Baron. They can still apply the exact same theory.
Certainly can. As I may now move Jinjiao Road towards the top side of Summoner's Rift. Maze J's on the bottom lane, going toe-to-toe against 957. Pops the Hemo play. Power Convergence comes down. Doesn't even slow Amazing J, who's popping the Ghost to run towards this Echo. But the Echo, incredibly fast, getting back to safety. Amazing J doesn't have the right eyes available. Can't quite keep chasing here. 957 will get back to safety, but still takes so much damage from Vladimir.
And again, he doesn't have really any MR. He's got the pieces of a Spectre's Cowl, but otherwise all armor. So to have that type of lane assignment, Vladimir's going to continue to punish.
As the rest of IMA have their eyes set on towards the mid lane inhibitor after taking down that mid lane inhibitor turret. Athena still sitting on his blue buff, very comfortably poking from the back lines. Parallel Convergence is coming up from 957. There's the arrow landing onto a Voidless who has to flash away, but chains land onto 957. The rest of Team WE getting locked down. Mystic taking an arrow to the knee. He has to back out of this team fight. Inhibitor's going to fall down. Jinjiao picks that one up for his team, and IMA poking out Team WE before taking out objective after objective.
Because that's what they have to do. It's very simple and executed cleanly at the moment from this IMA roster. Again, the Gold League glows the advantages. It grows even, doesn't just glow. The advantages continue to amount, and really, WE have to have a desperation fight, or they are just done.
Have to go back and highlight Athena. His ultimate is doing so much work. Deft also played Varus earlier on. Hold on.
There's an ultimate coming in. CS separated from Team Mystic, taking a lot of damage from the ricochets of Jin Zhao. As they siege up the mid lane in the turret. This is without Baron buff, and IMA are plowing through Team WE. Bottom lane inner turret gets taken out. Mason J will get sped up by the Crimson Rush as he heals himself back up from a few transfusions. They look to continue sieging.
Again, EDG pulled out Varus for Deft. They've been playing with it around in scrims. When interviewed about it after the game, he said it's very similar to Ashe. Ashe has a very strong 2v2, and so he wanted to experiment with champions that could possibly stand up next to her. Again, this is a mid lane Varus, but the same concept is applying in these big team fights. His ultimate is locking down Mystic and just deleting
He's
her.
up to 957 there. Mason J will get locked down by Seer, but the Trundle Pillar displaces him. He may play has to be used. Rhodes going to get taken down very low. Voilus trying to get into the fight. Athena will take down Seer. Zero's the next to fall. Boomerang Blade picks up that kill, and 2 picks for 1 in favor of IMA.
Yeah, still another favorable trade to be seen by IMA. The minion wave now about to crash, and people have to go to base for Team WE if they want to defend their middle lane turret.
Teleport
they have to
coming
give
in.
out the bottom one.
Mason J trying to get into this fight. Condi jumps on top of Athena. He's going to get taken down to start the fight off. Teleport now for 957. Team WE looking for this fight. Echo's gone in. Has no ultimate available. Will get popped by Jin Zhao. Amazing J now ghosting into the back lines. Mystic's going to fall. Will come back out of it. Get the transfusion down. Another inhibitor should fall. Going in IMA's favor.
Having a bad time is
Condi.
Mystic in this series. Condi lucky that he's actually not knocked towards the team. And try as WE might, they continue to bleed objectives.
Fortunately for them, though, the wave was delayed coming in behind Anime, so the game will not end there, as well as Condi and Zero being up to defend. So they at least have one more moment, one more chance to make a comeback in this game, but this is a 90-degree angle in terms of a rough hill to climb.
It's been a long time since I've seen a team being able to take down inhibitors and inhibitor turrets without taking the Baron buff.
It's what the composition has been designed for. I mean, we've said it over and over again. This is great for sieging. Varus is pretty binary in how he wants to approach structures.
Now 4, 1, and 5 on his Varus. He's picked up the Mercurial Scimitar as well as Dustblade and the Yoma's Ghostblade. Still sitting on the tier for a little bit of extra mana.
The sieging will change as we approach this Baron, however, so obviously when you're approaching a structure, vision isn't as important, but playing around an epic monster, they need to make sure that they get position on the buff beforehand, set down good vision, and start opening up opportunities for Athena to continue to punish Team WE if they try to contest for this. But right now, just shoving the waves forward.
And it really is just lots of good individual decisions out of IMA, including itemization choices. Boots of mobility aren't seen, they're actually boots of swiftness, so if they take damage, they can still move fast. The ultimate goal here is to outrange what WE have. It's a Graves composition where he wants to be close to you. If they stay outside the range and poke, then they win the fights.
So I may continue split pushing on the top side. No, so not split pushing,
I don't know
pushing.
if you're going to turn towards the Baron, not even wasting their vision. They're dropping it behind them to make sure that there's no cheeky ward to offer a flank for 957.
So still pushing for the top lane inner turret as 5. No blue buff on Athena, but he's still healthy in mana. 957 looking to jump in, gets a stun onto Athena. There's an ultimate coming out from the Ashe. He's going to get locked down. 957 gets the invulnerability, trying to keep himself alive by Taric. Forced to hop over the wall. Team WE get no damage done to Aime at all.
But
they burn a
still
lot
have
of
the Hemo
crucial
Plague.
ultimates.
Yeah, that was the last chance draw, honestly, for Team WE. They're going again.
Athena locked down, uses the same report. Voilus has to flash away as well. Aime now low. Athena's in the front lines, gets jumped on by 957, forced to use the ultimate to get back to safety. Aime have to run for the heals. Mystic going to be slowing people down. A big arrow comes out, and Mason J turns around, gets exhausted. Mystic picks up the kill.
Watch Mystic's health bar as well. He's lucky to be alive. It doesn't do enough damage, but their base is in shambles.
And that's the thing, Team WE can't afford to continue
That's
to
actually
chase.
just winning the
They
game.
just lost 2 Nexus towers.
The Nexus is under attack from these minions. Team WE putting up the siege to try and stop him from falling. But at the same time, Aime working on that final inhibitor turret. They will take it down as Team WE forced to defend the base. They've got no turrets left standing on the map.
Disaster.
Yeah, they're lucky the game isn't over here, WE. There's no health bars from IMA because they had a successful team fight. They didn't win the fight, but they pushed them back. So one more chance is all WE have got, and it requires absolute perfection.
Now going to try to take or at least steal the Infernal Drake. He's probably going to just place a ward. No, he's actually just going to try to burn it.
Well, Connie's doing whatever he can to try and take this down, but if Voidless already here, Connie has to get the heck over there. I may say thank you for the lead. Collateral damage may come out, but it doesn't. Now 3 Infernal Dragons up, no turrets left, and 3 inhibitors left open to be taken.
Condi.
I may looking to try and push through. There's a pillar coming out from Roach. Subjugate comes down as the arrows will come through to Condi. It's going to take him down. Jin Zhao picks up that kill.
So greedy. Why would you think that you could do that? You saw them on the Infernal Drake. You know that they're probably going to come in and take everything in your jungle on their walk towards your Nexus.
Unfortunately, I just don't think it matters because now they're looking to just outright end this game around the inhibitors being taken.
And they're pushing for a Nexus at full health again, but still Aimee just kiting back and forth, making sure they can take down the inhibitors as well in case things go south. Second one falls. Looking for the third one on top of that. That inhibitor will get taken out as well. Now 2 super minions from each lane will start crashing on towards Aimee's base. I mean Team WE's base. And slowly but surely they make their way towards the Nexus. 4 members strong from Team WE looking to defend. It's going to be difficult if they can do it though. It will be a miracle. As now they're on the Nexus, taking damage. Avoidance gets locked down. There's a Tarragol to get them invulnerable. 947 doesn't get it and takes a lot of damage for it. Zero now trying to run away from the rest of the team. As Aimee pushing through. They're trying to take down the Nexus. They're trying to fight. Amazing J forced to use the Sanguine Ball to keep himself alive. Jin Zhao picks up a kill onto the Echo in the top lane. Aimee will get a kill back in their favor. Sia picks up the kill, but still they're pushing through. Slowly but surely. Aimee really taking their time. They finally take down Mystic. Is he going to be able to flash forward for that? Jin Zhao gets the kill now on the Nexus, and Aimee will be able to tie this one back up 1-1.
The brilliance of this is that Aimee managed to siege through all of Team WE's base without once turning towards the Baron. Again, this is Team WE. They're incredibly good in tight corridors. They team fight very well, and Aimee never gave them that opportunity.
And what a match coming out from Aimee. Showing Team WE that they're not the only one with a unique team comp they can pull out in these games. Pick up the Varus, flex the Vladimir into the top lane, and pick up a win off the back of that pick.
And it was so reactionary. We had a lot of questions saying the Varus was definitely picked from the hip because Amazing J had to adjust his summoner spells last second to take the Vladimir up to the top side, but we said that both of these teams have very overlapping champion pools and very deep champion pools, and that really stood out and counted for them there. Nice.
Trundle's broken the game again. We were going through a few highlights of that match, and it will start off with Aimee highlights, and we'll finish with Aimee highlights. It's fight after fight. It was Aimee that just got further and further ahead in this game.
Quickly touching back to that Ashe highlight as we saw Road just tear him apart. Team WE were in full control of that bottom lane until a single mistake from Zero taking tower aggro really turned the tide of this game.
And this is where things just started going Aimee's favor. They take down the first turret, move straight towards the next. Voidless, no one saw that, but the turret does fall as well. Team WE trying to fight back here. They get 2 big picks for it, but they can't follow through.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, WE. There was glimmers of hope, but by that time it was already too late. The amount of work that Athena was doing, and yes, we questioned whether it was a good decision to maybe put the Vladimir in the top lane and have the Varus mid, but evidently their scrim practice, their background knowledge that they have around the champion proves too good.
And this was a fight around the inhibitor here. It looked like things were going bad for Aimee as they lose Amazing J. He does get locked down to start things off. But Aimee kite back and fight back successfully, picking up the back half of this team fight thanks to the Hemo play.
And what a story for Aimee. Again, Team WE, they won the first game, so we're just sitting at 1-1, but it was a much slower pace game, not nearly as impressive as just this dismantling that Aimee gave to them in game number 2. But to come out of the LSPL, to really struggle within Group B, find a lot of confidence in cross-conference, and just ramp really hard into this monster that just displayed itself in Game 2. They've come a very long way.
See the damage dealt in that game. Athena topping the charts for both teams there. Doing a lot of work on this Varus. 34,000 damage in game number 2.
Yeah, definitely sums that game up. Athena was a one-man wrecking crew. He had a team to back him up, though, so every single time WE tried to go in, tried to hit the Ash Arrows, tried to stun him down with the Malzahar, they'd dismantle it, they would displace them, and then the Varus would just run over them.
Pretty much sieged up for the team, and the MVP for Aime picking it up in game number 2 is going to go over towards Athena. No surprise there, was the catalyst to success.
Yep, everyone's
36%
shocked.
of his team's damage, so very much deserving of that.
Pretty much, and you know, just time and time again, they just siege turret after turret. We already mentioned they didn't even need to take a single Baron buff to do so throughout that entire game.
But again, that's the really brilliant part about IMA's composition and their plan going into that. Team WE are great fighting around things like the Dragon, like the Baron, so why even go near it? Just continue to use your composition, continue to siege, and so they've now revealed another weapon in their arsenal.
Yeah, they've definitely shown they have more than just the one strategy, and WE seem to be exploited this time around, so we have to look at how they're going to come back next game and readjust themselves. But as far as this game was concerned, they were never really in it, and that's an unfortunate thing for them.
In TWE, they picked up the victory in the first match using the Taric and Kindred. No Kindred this time around, still used the Taric, but it seems like I may be able to work around that pick.
And that was the brilliance of the Gragas pickup in second rotation from IMA. They picked up Vladimir Trundle and then went Gragas Sivir. Excuse me. Yes. Looking at the right one. Sorry, my notes were scribbled. But having the Gragas there means that it's really hard to pick the Kindred, because obviously she lays down her Lamb's Respite, Gragas just throws down his cast and throws them all off. So it's kind of a soft, if not hard counter.
So good draft coming out from IMA means they get a victory in game number 2. We're going to a very quick break. We'll be back with game 3, so don't go anywhere.